I mean, I think people who listened or were going to listen would probably suspect that we would be talking about Asian things because of like our faces.
Because our faces and the fucking intro music. Is this not Asian enough for you? Hello, welcome to Rise to Meet You, a comedy podcast about Asian culture with me, Nigel Ng.
And me, Evelyn Mark.
Hey!
Yay.
Welcome back, everybody. And
Yay.
We are still in Gothenburg. We're doing batch records. We recorded an episode yesterday, and we're recording another one today.
You sound like you're trapped.
I am trapped. I feel trapped. I'm homesick. I miss London.
This is what Nigel told me, like, when I came in. He was like, oh, I've been here for too long. Oh, I can't get a good coffee. Oh, I feel trapped. And I'm like, it's because you've only been in your room editing.
Hey.
And also,
I was in the lobby also.
You were in the lobby.
Not just my room, okay?
Oh my gosh. And then also, like, the coffee, it's like, I can take you to places, but you've just been hanging around with randoms who've taken you to, like, the commercial places.
Not randoms. I was all alone in Gothenburg. Okay? In Stockholm, I met up with one person. That's it.
You told me you wanted to work.
I did work, yeah. I worked a lot during the day. Yeah. And I realized, yeah, Radisson Blu is a nice hotel, but the nicer the hotel is, the more depressing it is sometimes. You know?
Oh, yeah. Why?
Because you just wake up and it's plush carpeting. It's weird.
What do you mean?
You feel like one of those, like, lonely businessmen. You know, on a business trip and there's nobody around you and you're working.
Like one of those Asian businessmen?
Yeah, one of those lonely Asian businessmen with your heart suitcase.
It just reminds me of that Simpson episode, you know, that scene where they're at the sushi restaurant when Homer gets poisoned by a blowfish. And in that scene, it's like just like Japanese businessmen who sing karaoke. And they're like, hi, yeah, my name is Ken, and this is for you, Carol. And then he just starts singing like a karaoke song. It just reminds me of that.
Yeah.
Whenever I think of Asian businessmen.
That's the vibe. Do white businessmen have that stereotype? Do white businessmen have that lonely businessman stereotype when they travel abroad?
Well, they often come home with a wife.
They have affairs. See, Asian businessmen, we don't have affairs abroad.
We. So why did we change it back to Asian culture?
Why did we change it back to Asian culture?
Uh-huh.
Well, we had a discussion. I had a discussion on a Discord, and I realized initially, you know, we always introduce in the beginning of the podcast. We've been around for a year now, so we're always trying to evolve the podcast, you know, in the direction that fits with our career goals, you know. So initially,
our career goals,
yeah,
i.e., Nigel's career goals.
You want to tour too? Stop making it sound like I'm taking all the benefit, Evelyn. You just crossed 10K followers on Instagram.
I did, yeah.
So, you know, stop making it out like I'm the selfish one here. I'm helping you out.
I'm just joking.
Yeah, I know.
I continue.
But yes, we when we started the podcast, it was a comedy podcast about Asian culture because we interviewed a lot of other Asian people in the UK, and we also talk about a lot of Asian things, you know. And as the podcast progressed, we interviewed fewer and fewer people only because we got too busy. There's a pandemic. It's really hard to plan. Technically, it's difficult to get a video, especially if they're not in the same room as us. Then you have to. We were mailing our guests microphones.
We were, and then I was in Sweden, and it was quite a tough one. Even
doing an audio-only episode was very tough. You know, I got to mail the microphone, and then we had to, before the podcast started, we had to meet with them half an hour earlier to set up the mic because everybody's computer is somewhat different. Not everybody knows how USB works, you know. Evelyn doesn't know how a USB works. And then there's two types of USB now, you know. So there's an adapter I have to send them. I have to teach them how to assemble the mic, and that's just audio. Yeah. Imagine if you want to do video too. We have to send a camera, a tripod, a light. Yeah. You know. So I think it's just impossible. And we're still gonna do interviews, but there's fewer of them, and then only when we can all be in the same room, then there's fewer variables to worry about. You know, when we have a conversation, I want to focus on the conversation. I don't want to be focusing on, okay, what light should I send to my guests? You know what I mean? So that's the reason why we decided, okay, so it's going to be both of us talking mostly, and we just talk about our lives, our friendship, you know, our day-to-day ongoings, funny stories in our lives, we decided, okay, let's just make it, let's just say comedy podcast with us. But then after a Discord discussion, I realized, okay, comedy podcast about Asian culture is still very appropriate because every episode we talk about Asian things.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Because we're Asian. It's our lives.
The thing is just like, I mean, I personally think comedy podcasts about Asian culture sounds nicer and it's more clear what the podcast is about. But then again, I do understand concerns of like, oh, maybe we're alienating a broader audience. But even if we had just, the time that we had just a comedy podcast with Evelyn Mock and Nigel Ung, I mean, I think people who listened or were gonna listen would probably suspect that we would be talking about Asian things because of like our faces.
Because our faces and the fucking intro music.
Yeah.
Is this not Asian enough for you?
It's very
You think this song comes on and we're gonna talk about white culture and pierogies?
pierogies.
And schnitzel? Is this a schnitzel theme song? Really? Schnitzel and bratwurst over this?
Why are you playing it again?
I just trying to illustrate a point.
Because that's the thing, when I chose that intro music, I was like, I wanted something that sounded Asian, but still wasn't like, gong. And like, yeah, exactly.
You are eating my pussy, boy.
Exactly. I didn't want that. But it's like, because it's interesting that, because, it's like, you can get caught up on phrasing and you can get caught up on like, just how you describe something. But then as the people who make the thing, this is what we've talked about in a few episodes before. Like, because are we then pigeonholing ourselves? Or, because we feel the need to explicitly say that it's about Asian culture, shouldn't it be enough that, it's two Asians who have a comedy podcast? Mm-hmm. Asian culture is probably gonna come up.
Yeah.
So, like...
Or it might not sometimes.
Or it might not. Yeah. And can we have that freedom then? Or or is it that we do need, to add the about Asian culture because it's like, hey, it's about representation. And so it's good to have that in the description. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let us know in the comments if you're watching on YouTube, or let us know on Discord, or DMs. We get too many DMs, we don't read them anymore. But just let us know in the comments on YouTube.
Well, I try to read all of them, but it's a bit overwhelming. So I do it once a week now.
And we'll try the comedy podcast about Asian culture intro, and then we'll see if our growth suddenly stops. They're like, fuck this Asian culture shit. No more. Change the intro music.
Bring the racists back. Bring the racist listeners back.
To Don't Stop Believing. That's not gonna be our intro music. If you stop listening after we change to Asian culture, we're bringing Bon Jovi as the intro song.
Oh my god, that would be great. Oh, that would be great just to have John Bon Jovi here. Because honestly, even if we don't have Asian culture there, it's like, who are we fooling?
Yeah. With a name like Rice to Meet You.
Yeah, I know.
Like, what do you think we are going to talk about?
Isn't that enough?
Yes.
Isn't that enough? If we changed it to like quinoa to meet you, as we've joked about before, fine, okay, you know.
Avocado to meet you.
Avocado toast.
Yeah, caviar to meet you. But it's rice to meet you. And guess who one of the hosts are? It's Uncle Roger. What do you think is gonna go down?
The most Asian man on the internet.
Uncle Roger love avocado. I sound like this, but I don't like Asian culture at all. It's a burden I have to carry. I sound Asian, but I wear white on inside.
Where the... Sorry.
Every day I eating croissant. Only croissant.
Where the oat milk?
Yeah, the oat milk. I got all the allergy.
Yeah.
Haya. Oh, Haya is a white word. Haya is white word. It's old Icelandic language. Came from all the Viking. Haya is Viking word.
Haya is what they shout before they invade your city.
Yes.
Invade your village.
Yeah.
Before they pillage.
Yes. But anyways, what we are saying is, whether or not we say Asian culture up top, like it doesn't change our content. People have a suspicion what we're gonna talk about.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do understand that it's nice to have that explicitly on the description
because
as well.
you feel a sense of belonging.
Yeah.
And we want
and
you
proudness.
to feel that. Yeah, proudness, and everybody knows how to plug it.
Yeah.
You know, when you listen to Rise to Meet You, people ask you, what's it about? You have to say a comedy podcast about Asian culture.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a nice, catchy catchphrase.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is.
And this is our last night in Gothenburg, you know?
It is, and it's gonna be exciting because I'm gonna take you to a very lovely dinner later, which I very much like.
We had a nice dinner yesterday too.
We did with my friends.
Yeah.
Shout out to Suhan and Petter.
Suhan, very first patron.
Our first patron. Yay!
Thank you.
She still is, even though I've told her numerous times to quit.
She is so rich. Like the amount of time it takes for her to find her credit card and cancel, like she makes more money by staying a patron.
That's exactly what she said. She's like, it's nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you're so rich.
She owns a house in like the nicest part of Gothenburg. She's doing okay. She's doing okay.
Our lives took such a different turn. Like they crossed like that. Like we were like this up until 15 and then like woo.
Yep. And now she has to donate money to you.
Yeah, she does. I honestly feel like that's what she feels. She's like, "Oh, I need to take care of Evelyn cuz she can't be dependent on her parents forever."
And you know she's doing well because people who do well at their work, they never talk about their work, and we don't feel the need to ask her about their work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
yeah.
She was asking Evelyn, so Evelyn, how's the acting going? How's I hear you got a lot of roles, you know? she was like a concerned mom.
She was. She was. Like every time I meet her, she's like, so how's it going? Like, tell me, blah, blah, blah. And every time I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I should stay in London or if I should move back to Sweden. And she's like, oh. And I've never seen her crack and be like, just make a decision. Yeah. Get a real job.
She's thinking that the inside.
Yeah.
And you've never asked Suhan, you've never asked her, so how's project managing a construction company going? Because she's gonna be like, yeah, it's very lucrative. Why? You want to join us? Finally. Join us, please.
But I mean, that's basically what she says when I ask her. She's like, it's fine. Yeah. I mean, we haven't really been that affected by the pandemic.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. We're lucky.
Translated that. We're still rich. Yeah. So
they are so rich. And like during dinner, Nigel.
It's a fun dinner. I was such a great conversationalist.
I beg to differ.
What?
So
my topics were so on point.
Your topics were regurgitating what we talk about on the podcast.
Yeah, okay, well, in my defense, we recorded a podcast directly before dinner, and we had some really funny lines in there. And Suhan doesn't listen to every single episode, so I was like, why not reuse the genius lines I had on the podcast?
Oh my God.
So why not waste those nuggets of golden conversation?
Terrible dinner guest. Terrible.
I entertained the table.
It was so inappropriate. He told the condom story.
Yeah.
He told the condom story. And I was like, Nigel, this is really inappropriate.
That's how you connect. I told it after dinner was finished, so I got to have some rapport already, okay? And two, that's how you connect with people. You talk about personal things. Instead of the weather. Oh, it's cloudy today. I heard it's gonna rain. Do you have your umbrella? How many siblings do you have? Where you originally from? Enough with that shit. Tell me the condom story. Tell me how hard it is to get condoms in Stockholm.
I mean, my friends were just like, oh, okay.
They were laughing. They weren't like, oh, they were laughing in agreement.
They weren't laughing in agreement.
They were laughing in agreement.
They were laughing, but they weren't laughing in agreement.
No, they'll be like, that's so relatable. So relatable.
Oh my God.
And listeners, if you don't know what condom story you're talking about, we talked about it in the previous two episodes, okay? Yeah. The Sweden one and also last week's one.
Yeah. And so you told the condom story, and I was like, oh, Nigel. And then you also asked her husband, Petter, for a shoe tree.
Yeah, I need a shoe trees. Listeners, if you don't know what shoe trees are, it's like things you put in your shoes when you're not wearing them. So you only usually put them in like expensive shoes. And I love my Chelsea boots. And I didn't bring shoe trees with me on this trip because my luggage was already too heavy. And I'm seeing creases start to develop in them. And it breaks my heart. So when I met Peter, Suhan's husband, I got the vibe he's a shoe tree kind of guy.
Oh my God.
All right, he's dressed smart. I could tell he's well heeled. He has nice shoes. So
well heeled.
It's a phrase, okay? And I could tell he had nice shoes. He's a nice shoes kind of guy. And I was right. I was like, hey, Peter, do you have shoe trees? And he was like, yeah, sure. What size are you? Boom. I read people like a book, people.
Oh my God. It was such a random question. And it's like, he's nice. They're so nice. They're the nicest people I know. So of course he's going to say yes. But it's like, you can't just ask somebody you've just met. Like, hey, could I have your shoe trees?
Why not? Why not? I was willing to buy it from them. And he knows it's a guy thing. Guys know how important having a shoe tree is. And turns out he loves shoes and he knows all about shoe trees.
He does,
and then we had a great conversation about Chelsea boots, about what Swedish shoemaker I should get. Amazing dinner conversation. You don't even know. That's how guys talk to each other. We talk about physical objects.
Oh God.
And then I checked out his shoes, and they were very nice. Not the right toe box shape I was looking for, but it was very nice. I could tell it was well made. And then he admired my Chelsea boots. I told him it's from a Northampton British-based shoemaker, and he liked it too.
Okay, guys. I mean, if you ever get the chance to have dinner with Nigel, take it because it's an interesting experience.
And I want to thank Peter. Thank you so much for the shoe trees. My shoes are in so much better shape now. For people who don't use shoe trees before, if I can use them, they protect your shoes. And my shoes were like really creasing, and now it's stretching back out, which is like making it smoother. So thank you so much, Peter, for your shoe trees. And I appreciate it. Next time you're in London, I have all the shoe trees I can give to you. And, to return the favor, I'll bring you to a nice British shoemaker. You can go shopping together. Baby.
Oh, gosh.
Okay. So it wasn't weird. It was a very natural conversation. I had the best conversation skills.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Okay.
What? What do you have to say? What disagreement are you having?
Not according to normal people.
We are not normal. I'm not normal. Normal people talk about the weather.
You're not normal, but like you can be. I think no comedian's normal, but then there are comedians who know how to be around people.
I know how to be around people. We had such a great time.
Oh, gosh.
I found a common interest and I built rapport with Peter. Isn't that what a conversation is? So Peter leaves the conversation knowing who I am, and I know who he is as a person. I know just a bit more about him. No, what the... That's how you connect with someone. You find common interests. Conversation 101, isn't it?
I mean, honestly, if we didn't do this podcast, I don't think we would hang out.
Why? Because you suck at talking to people? Is that why?
I'm so good at talking to people. I'm so engaged. I ask about them. I ask about how, like, their interests, and then we talk about, like, a communal interest.
That's exactly what I did with Peter. What are you I talked about shoes and shoe trees.
The conversation was very, very Nigel Ung dominated.
No.
It was very much from your perspective.
We both like shoes.
It's so funny. But honestly, if we didn't do this podcast, like, Nigel and I, we are so different. We're really different people. And I think that if we both weren't Asian and we both weren't comedians, we probably wouldn't hang out. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So. If you were white, fuck off. Nothing in common, girl.
That's the thing, like...
Evelyn's too patient. She's too patient. She just let things happen at their own pace. We ordered an Uber yesterday at your friend's place.
Yeah.
And then I ordered the Uber, and I saw like 7 minutes. Fuck! And I was pacing around, and everyone's like, "What are you doing? Chill. It's gonna come.
Just sit down."
Yeah, 7 minutes for an Uber. I might as well walk. 7 minutes.
7 minutes. It was just like, yeah, okay, 7 minutes. That's what it takes in Gothenburg. I mean, sure, in London, probably a bit like quicker or whatever, but like 7 minutes is nothing. And it was raining outside, and we were in their kind of like lobby, which was really lovely. And there was a bench where like the intention is that you can sit down and wait for things. So I was like, just sit down, Nigel. Just sit down. And you were pacing back and forth. And I was like, what would you do if I wasn't around?
That's what I do. I pace back and forth.
You would pace back and forth. And it's like, and the thing is, you've developed more tics. So Nigel, I'm going to reveal something about you.
Oh, no.
Like, Nigel has tics whenever he's stressed. It started, the first tic that I noticed was you just doing your hair.
Yeah.
So
my
whenever,
hair and I'm stressed,
when he's stressed, he just like, he kind of talks to you and looks at his computer and he plays with your hair. And that's when I know he's stressed. Yang is nodding as well. She's noticed that. But now you've added this thing. Like
what?
Like your leg. Your leg is like, yeah. So you're kind of like this. And so you shake your leg.
I'm always raring to go. I'm always like, go, 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 go.
Exactly. So you shake your leg now and you play with your hair. And I'm like, oh shit, he's like a time bomb waiting to explode. This isn't good. And so like Nigel has a bunch of like, and I'm just kind of eager to see what the next tic is.
There's no more tics. My life is
You're so
stressful. It's
stressed.
hard. It's a hard life I live.
Well, I think I mean, you have a lot of work and stuff, and I understand. I mean, I work as well, but then also the thing, I think you're just concerned more, not more concerned, but you're worried.
I'm wound up tight.
You're very wound up tight.
Hey, listen, these tics are okay. You know, your tics is you overeat and get diabetes. So it's like, who's the winner here? I shake my leg and play with my hair. Okay. My tics don't cause me to need insulin injections.
That's true, actually. That's true. I do have high blood pressure. Yeah. And that's also from stress. Yeah.
We all have flaws, people.
I did order an ice cream yesterday for dessert.
And I was like, I don't want to say anything because I'm like, people don't want to hear this. I know, Evelyn, nobody wants to hear that they have diabetes. You know what I mean? So I just sat there and smiled. And I was a supportive friend. I was like, how's ice cream? Is it good? Is it good? Is it worth the blood sugar increase? Is it good? Right? I was so supportive.
You were, yeah.
I did not give a single piece of advice or solution. Nobody wants that nowadays. It's all about the emotion, how you feel. You know, it's all about how you feel. If you deserve an ice cream, eat the ice cream. Okay? Who cares what your body's trying to tell you? You deserve it, girl. You deserve ice cream.
Oh, gosh.
Okay,
That's
I
very
was
funny.
joking. Okay, there is some truth in that. It's driven by emotion, and it's okay. You have to listen to your emotions.
No, yeah. I mean, I just wanted ice cream at that point, but I know that I need to stop. I need to
See,
lose weight for health.
I know
purposes.
you know. That's why I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
You know, I
Exactly.
know you're not an idiot.
Yeah.
So I was like, Evelyn
Yeah.
knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just self-destructive.
Yeah.
You know, but it's okay.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
What
yeah,
a great friend. I understand her so well.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for letting me just self-destruct a little bit.
You're welcome. That's the things friends do for each other.
Yes,
We
I know.
allow other friends to self-destruct. Isn't this what modern friendship is now? You know what I mean? You're there for them emotionally, but friends in this day and age, they don't really stop you from, you know, there are no like prescriptive advice. You know, they don't tell you what to do. They're just there for emotional support.
I mean, that's
what I
what
mean?
friendship is. And then you intervene if like somebody's in an abusive relationship. Of course you intervene.
Yeah, but the abusive relationship thing is different. But this, I'm thinking about something you do to yourself. Friends generally don't try to step in and be like, no, you shouldn't eat that. Put the sugar down. You know, friends don't do that anymore, right? Friends.
Do they ever used to?
I mean, I grew up in Malaysia, and yeah.
In Malaysia.
We'll be harsher. I think because now,
But Asians,
you know, I don't know if it's an Asian thing or just a progressive society thing. You know, I think in Asia now we are becoming more like this too, where we think, yes, just because we think, yes, you shouldn't do this, but as a friend, we will allow it. She, you know, she needs this emotionally, and it's not my place to give her feedback. I'm not a medical professional, you know, that kind of thing. We're just here to make you feel good about yourself and not give you advice on how to live your life.
Well, it's extra complicated when it comes to weight and eating because fat shaming is a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, it often gets worse if somebody does that. You know, like, hey, should you really be eating that? That's shaming, really. And I think that it makes it worse because that's probably something that person has heard their whole entire life, if that's the type of background they come from. Like, for instance, me, I told you this in the car yesterday. Like, my mom, because so I got a small part in a Swedish film. And I told my mom, and she was like, "Oh, that's great. That's great. So now all you have to do is lose weight." And I was like, Mom, I already got the part. And so it's obvious I don't need to lose weight. And she's like, "No, yeah, okay, you got the part. But, if you want other bigger parts, you need to lose weight because people value people on how they look." And I was like, wow, okay. And this is what I've heard all of my life. So, because fat shaming is so ingrained into our culture and it is real. And, even now, as I'm telling this, I know that people who are going to watch this are not going to believe me and say that I'm being hypersensitive or saying that, it's like a snowflake culture because they haven't experienced it. Like, our whole culture is set up to shame people who are overweight. And so something as simple as like you think you're helping somebody by saying, "Hey, should you really eat that?" But listen to your tone. Listen to how judgmental you're sounding. Listen to like, how would you feel if somebody said it to you, Like that way of, saying that you're trying to help somebody is quite patronizing. And that person probably has grown up with that type of tone their whole life. And so when you say something like that, that just kind of adds to their self kind of, shame, and then also makes them want to do it more, either to rebel against you or because they feel like, this is what I then deserve. If this is so bad, then, I deserve it because I am bad. So, yeah, that's fat shaming in a nutshell.
Yeah, I didn't say any of that. I'm a great guy.
Oh, my God.
I think, yeah, it's a tricky subject, and I don't want to go to places where I don't have any experience in.
This is also another point at how different we are because you grew up as an Asian boy and, conventionally, you fit into convention. So you're kind of treated like a prince. I grew up as an Asian girl who was plus size in the West, not fitting into convention at all. We had totally different experiences of growing up Asian, even though we're both Asian.
Yeah. And I'm just telling you my experience. I'm not trying to tell you how you should live. I'm just saying, hey, and there's another way that I grew up this way. And yes, there are people who, even in Asia, body shaming is more accepted there,
It
right?
is, and it's more factual, and maybe it's not as steeped in shame.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Steeped in shame. It's not as emotionally charged.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't spoken to anyone who was plus size growing up there. So
Okay. Let me talk to a few friends. All I'm saying is, let's consider different viewpoints here. I'm not telling you what to do, and I didn't tell you what to do yesterday. Because I understand how it makes you feel.
How it makes me
because
feel.
we talked about this, and I respect you as a friend.
I just wanted an ice cream at that point. And
and
so,
it was
I just
fine.
wanted an ice cream. But that's another thing that I thought about because the thing is, it's automatically assumed that it's self-hatred. I don't know, when a woman does it, maybe? I don't know. But the thing is also, I'm comfortable enough to express when I'm feeling insecure about something. It doesn't mean that I hate myself, It means that I'm comfortable enough to express in that moment that I'm feeling insecure about something. And, we can talk about it if we want. But I realize that people around you probably don't feel comfortable with it because expressing self-doubt or expressing anxiety is automatically associated as not being happy with yourself. But I think that's not the case for me, at least. At least in that moment, because I do like myself. I quite enjoy it. And I feel comfortable, expressing when I feel a bit anxious or I feel a bit insecure.
Yeah, but you also have to admit that people would rather hear about shoe trees. It's a very neutral conversation. So who is the better conversationalist? You tell me.
Well, I didn't talk about it at dinner. But it's true. Yeah.
Do you have shoe trees I can borrow? And it's like, ooh, I'm so insecure. Who do you want at your dinner table?
We're
Neither of us.
We're terrible dinner guests. We're just like
Chelsea
yeah.
Boots, diabetes.
Yeah.
No.
I just had 2 million. None of my clothes fit. I don't know if I want to live in England or in Sweden. Yeah, if I lose my YouTube gold plaque, I have to buy a new one.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's very very funny.
Turns out we are both shitty dinner guests.
Yeah, we're both shitty.
After all that conversation.
Oh gosh.
But that whole insecurity, I agree, man. I agree. I think people get uncomfortable when you talk about emotions, and especially emotions that are negative. You know, they assume you can't handle it and you need help.
Well, I mean, obviously, I talked to a therapist about serious things, but I think it's an interesting thing to talk about sensitive topics publicly, because I think we need to start getting comfortable with talking about uncomfortable subjects, because otherwise we never talk about them. And it doesn't mean that they're gone. It just means that they're going to go and grow in silence. And then once that's grown until, an excessive amount, then there's an issue there, So I'm a big kind of like advocate. I don't know, but I'm a big like a believer in talking about uncomfortable things publicly, but obviously in a like either in this kind of setting, like in a podcast.
Not everybody has a luxury of
having a podcast.
Wow. Privilege much? Huh? Not everybody comes to a hotel room with a nice lighting setup and 2 cameras pointed at them and beautiful sound equipment. You're like, well, sometimes I feel I'm not taking care of my body enough. But everybody has the luxury.
Okay, yes, I know. Like, but I mean, like publicly, as in, like, in a forum, or like in at like at a lecture or something like that. I mean, and even with your friends, your closest friends, but maybe not like at a dinner with people you've just met.
I would say even. If I'm thinking, like, from my perspective, if my friends want to talk, I'm happy for them talking about their emotional, vulnerable stuff. But keep it to 20% of your conversation, please. Not like all of it, because then it's emotionally exhausting to have to listen. Listening is the worst. It's the worst.
I know it's the worst for you, Nigel. You're terrible at it.
I try. I think I do okay at it if I really, really try super hard.
If you want to sleep with the person.
Yeah, then I have some incentive.
Oh my God.
I
really
try.
Is that way.
Even if I don't sleep with them, I still try to make them feel special. That's what listening is, right? You want to make the other person feel like they're the most special person in the world.
Yeah, if you find yourself wanting to talk about, like sensitive stuff and blah, 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 like 80% of the time, then probably see a professional.
Yeah, 20%.
Yeah, 20%.
So I hang up with you for like 5 minutes. Only 1 minute you get to talk about your emotional well-being shit.
I guess, maybe I come off as that because I talk about it in the podcast a lot, but this is where I talk about it.
Yeah, you're like 100%.
Yeah.
All that.
All that. Do I do it privately a lot?
Sometimes, but 20%. You meet the 20% rule. Well. Yeah.
That's
good. Yeah, we need to be comfortable talking about, vulnerable, emotional, slightly negative things, because, like, if you just like yourself all the time, you'll be an asshole.
You be you.
No.
Yes, you would.
No. I don't like myself all the
would.
time. I'm so vulnerable and emotional if I need to be.
Listeners, yesterday when we were leaving my friend's apartment, Nigel just stopped in front of a window and he just looked at himself and he was like, I look good. I was like, oh my God. How are we friends?
I was dressed nice. Don't you feel like that when you wear nice things and you look in the mirror like, hot damn,
I feel that way, but I don't say it to
Why
people.
Not say it? You say the negative things. Why not say the positive things too? Have some confidence, right? I was dressed nice. I had like nice cologne. I was wearing my Chelsea boots, that I just got shoe trees for after leaving their flat, which is great. Thank you, Peter. And it was amazing. I loved it.
Oh, you're so strange. Well, let's move on to our sponsors for the episode.
Yes, we have. We are happy to hear. We are happy to say that our favorite sponsors are back.
Yay!
Yeah. Woo! And guess who are our favorite sponsors for an Asian culture podcast? It's Yum Asia.
I mean, we've only had them and one other sponsor.
Slendier. Yeah, true. But
so it is difficult to
Yum
figure
Asia
out.
is back, people. They have some exciting new
Yay.
products coming soon.
Yes.
We are getting. I'm getting a shipment of their new products. There's gonna be some rice, some special Thai rice that they make. They're gonna start selling rice now because
They're gonna start selling rice,
which is a no-brainer. You sell rice cookers. Why not
Yeah.
just sell rice too? You know what I mean? I can't believe
Yeah.
it took you this long, Yum Asia. Please keep sponsoring us. And they're gonna have a new rice cooker that they're gonna send to me too.
Oh, which one?
It's a smaller one, their own brand that has induction. But before this, their induction one in their own brand, it was like a big one. It's an 8-cup rice cooker.
It's the one I have.
Yeah. So I told them, do you have a smaller one? Because I live by myself. I don't have a lot of space in my flat. And they're like, yeah, it's coming in October. So they're going to be sending that to me soon.
So you're gonna have 2 rice cookers.
Yeah, I might throw one away. I might throw the worst one away. So it's Zoji Rushi versus Yum Asia. Oh.
Don't throw it away. Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not going to throw it away. I'm going to keep both. I'll sell it to Goodwill, you know.
Give it to me.
Give it to you.
Yeah.
I'll sell it to you.
You're such a dick.
What? I paid. All right, fine. I'll give it to you. Fine. I'll give it to Yang. You need a rice cooker, Yang? You
Yeah,
need a
give it
good
to
one?
Yang.
You have 2 rice cookers. The most Asian
She's the
one.
most Asian one, yeah.
And she's not even on the pod. We need to get her on the pod sometime. Talk about her life.
I mean, don't tell people too much
Alright,
about it. She
fine,
wants
fine.
To, maybe she wants to be private.
How private do you want to be? You want to be private? Okay.
Yeah, she wants to be
So
private.
we don't know anything about Yang. She's just a videographer from Asia. We're not even going to tell you where in Asia. She's just from Asia.
Yeah, she's just from Asia.
Who has 2 rice cookers. Okay. So I will give you one. Fine. I'll give you one. But I want to use the Yum Asia one because they have induction heating, which is a slightly better new way of cooking rice compared to my old Zoji Rushi. Zoji Rushi is good, but I think the times have changed and there's more technology in the Yum Asia one now. So I'm excited to get it.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
That's very exciting. And I'm quite excited that they've started with the rice.
Finally.
Because then you can get rice from Yum Asia.
Yeah, get rice cooker, get everything, all the rice-related accessories.
Just go to yumasia.co.uk and be Asian.
Yeah.
Just go to...
Yum Asia should do an Asian starter pack. You know what I mean?
Asian starter pack.
5 kilos of rice, 1 rice cooker, and a little thermos. Yum Asia, are you listening?
You should do an
Are you
Asian
listening?
starter pack. Oh, that's so funny.
Do it.
And then include then if you have kids, you can choose the Asian mom starter pack, which includes like a little bamboo stick that you can hit your kids with. If they forget to put the rice on.
Yeah. Do you do that, Yum Asia? Do you have a weapon section of your shop?
You can just use like the rice ladle
ladle.
to
Yeah,
bloop, bloop,
yeah,
bloop, 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 like that. That's so funny. Yes, Yum Asia, you need to do starter packs.
Yeah, and then you can have the single Asian person starter pack with the smallest rice cooker and maybe the rice and maybe a blow up doll because you're lonely.
Oh my god,
all the starter Asian packs.
a blow up doll.
Yeah, and of an Asian woman or man. Okay.
Oh dear.
None of these Caucasian blow up dolls. Only the Asian ones, please. So Yum Asia, listen to us. Do all those starter packs. Use the code Uncle Roger for 10% off all the Yum Asia branded rice cookers. So go on there, support the podcast and support Yum Asia.
Yeah.
And also, to be honest, we are very grateful that Yum Asia decided to continue sponsoring the pod. But let's be honest here, Yum Asia. Where else can you advertise?
Yeah.
Where else? You're a UK-based company and UK and Europe-based company. I don't think there are that many Asian culture things out there. So.
and have sold quite a few, I think.
Yeah.
Our listeners are buying.
Can you imagine? Okay, we might have removed the Asian culture tagline, but the first line of the episode show notes is buy a rice cooker from yumasia.co.
It's like, who are they fooling? Who are they
We're
fooling?
not leaving any Asian-ness behind. We're still as Asian as you want to be.
Oh, that's so funny. That's very funny. Who are we fooling? Nobody.
Yeah, I was in your car a few nights ago, and you're just talking all your The car is a great place to open up, by the way.
Yeah,
I think,
that's true.
And that's fine. I enjoy listening to it. I think we're friends, and I need to know who Evelyn is and how to not piss her off. I'm making notes. Okay, do not tell her to not eat ice cream. No advice. Do not give advice. And that's why I live. That's because that's what you want. I have to respect that.
We were driving. We were driving a really long stretch, and I was talking, and I just fell asleep.
I didn't fall asleep. Why did I fall asleep?
No, but you were like, "Yeah, I'm gonna sleep now," and then I just ended up talking with the videographer that was coming with us for the Uncle Roger thing.
That was a 2-hour car ride, and
so
I have this
funny.
thing where I'm riding in a car. It brings me back to my childhood. Okay, because we just drove around all the time in Malaysia. This is not Sweden. We didn't have like scooters you can rent and zip around the whole city.
Yeah, it's great.
In Malaysia, you drive everywhere, and then so it just brings me back. And I'll go to school. I'll wake up at 6:30, and then get in the car at 7. Drive to school. Takes an hour and 15 because of the traffic jam. Yeah, then driving back, same hour 15. If sometimes it rains, and it takes up to 2-3 hours.
Wow.
To get back. So yeah, when I on the car, I just sleep because there's nothing else you can do. So,
did your parents drive you?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then it's always like it's very hypnotic, And that's like that gentle cradle of the
like a child.
vehicle. Yeah,
like a child.
That's why I just fell asleep, and I wanted to be refreshed for the filming.
Yeah,
just for you guys.
Yeah,
So yeah, and I was just tired.
Well, it was good because I got to know our videographer a bit.
But your car was surprisingly clean. It was Evelyn's parents' car. And I don't know if you've seen Evelyn's house.
Oh, come on.
Evelyn's parents' house. So I expected the worst, but I saw her Nissan pull up to my Radisson Blue.
Our cars have always been spotless.
Yeah, it's surprising. I'm just saying it's surprising. I didn't expect it to be. Asian parent cars always have that little trinket hanging from the rear view mirror, right?
Yeah.
They always have little things on the dashboard. In Malaysia, they have a sticky mat, and they put a little like the cat thing.
Yeah.
But not this design, obviously. This is Scandinavian design.
Okay.
Cat.
You don't have to go on about it.
I love this thing.
Okay.
I love it. It's like hot
You
pink.
bought an expensive Marimekko cat. Okay, move on.
Yeah. So I was expecting to see all these little trinkets, and then they always put like a little seat cushion mat thing, so you can actually sit on the seat. You have to sit on like.
We have that.
Yeah, you have that. But only that. It's very surprising.
I mean, we've always had a very clean car. That's why
crazy. Why don't you tell your parents to treat the house like you treat the car?
Oh, Nigel, you haven't even been to my house. You've seen like my room, and then you've seen the other room.
Let's go later. Let's go tonight after dinner.
You want to go to our house?
Let's say hi to Francis and your mom.
He might be ill, actually, my dad.
Really?
I'm very worried. Yeah.
Uh-oh. Is this the end of Francis Mark?
It's best not to go.
Well, at least you have made 2 videos with him, so it was a life well lived.
Well,
that's a life well lived.
My dad, I felt because so I have started making YouTube videos with my dad, and I feel so bad because he's becoming self-conscious, like when we, that self-consciousness you get when you perform.
You have a camera in front of you.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I hate to, because so he made a fried noodles and pork recipe, like a Hong Kong style one, and then it came out a little bit different than what he was expecting and what he thought of. And so he was like, Evelyn, we have to remake it, because if a real chef see this, they will know that it's not authentic. We have to remake it. They're going to laugh at me. And I'm like, Dad, they're not going to laugh at you. And so, he has like that self-consciousness of when you're aware that other people are seeing you.
I don't know why you think it's a bad thing. He has a standard of excellence. Right? When you put something on film, it lasts forever. So, of course, I want to make it better. And you're just shitting your dad, it's okay. Just present a shit product. Nobody cares. Your dad wants to better himself. You should be proud of him. Why do you feel bad for someone who wants to make the best thing he can make?
Well, I feel bad because I'm like, oh no, I'm instilling this like self-consciousness in my father that I recognized from myself when I started doing things publicly. And it's horrible. I know that feeling.
What if he likes it? I like it. It makes me strive for excellence.
That feeling?
Yeah. That people are watching.
Well, anyways, I said no. No, I'm not gonna refilm it. Do you know how much time it takes?
Wow.
No, I'm kidding. No.
And also, like, what does he do now? He's retired, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, he has time to strive for perfection. Let him do it. What else do you want him to do?
I
Just want him to like not do anything and just watch TV and die? Is that what you want your dad to do?
I just wanted to be retired and happy.
Yeah, but maybe he likes the performative aspect. He's never Asian parents worked their whole lives and they never had a chance to do anything this kind of performative or creative. And now he's finally had the chance to do it at age, 60, 65. And then you're like, no, he's making him self-conscious. No, he loves it. It's something new to him.
Well, I mean, okay. Yeah, you're right.
Why are you denying your dad the pleasure of being seen?
I just don't want him to feel stressed about it. You know, I just don't want him to feel stressed about it. And I'm glad that he doesn't really, he doesn't have social media. He doesn't he watches YouTube and stuff, but like it's going through me. So anything is going through me. So I share with him all of the positive things. And he's like, ooh, like he's really happy about that. But then also I feel good that I'm the filter so that I can, if there is anything negative, then I can filter that away. I think I've become so much more protective of my parents in their old age. I think you feel the same way, probably.
I don't care. Way. If my mom makes a YouTube video, it gets a lot of hate. I'm like, yeah, sorry, mom, welcome to YouTube.
Are you serious?
Now you know how I feel all the time.
That's so terrible, Nigel.
What? I mean, you can't protect them from everything. The world is a cruel place. They have to learn.
I mean, they've already learned. They're immigrants in a country that's so white.
It's your YouTube. It should be about you. You subjected him to this.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think this is gonna be I don't think I'm gonna make more with him because I think it's too stressful for him and he's already like kind of ill, and like a sick man. So I have to come up with something. But then I don't think YouTube is my forum necessarily. I'm gonna write.
You're an actor.
I'm an actor.
You're a proper Hollywood star actor writer combo. No? Who needs YouTube? It's the worst. Who needs it? We have different personalities. I like everything in the process, the editing, the filming, the choosing the camera, the choosing the light.
Yeah, I hate it.
But Evelyn likes specialization. That's our difference.
Specialization?
Yeah, you want to write, you want to act. That's it.
Yeah.
I direct, produce, find the lights, buy the tripods. If you like the episode, make sure you go leave us a nice rating and review on Apple Podcasts and support our Patreon too, people, so we can keep making Asian culture content, and we'll listen to you on the Discord as well. That's why we're changing it back to comedy podcast about Asian culture. Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, we realize it is getting tougher now that we're both getting busier as things are opening up, but hopefully you'll still like what we make. We're gonna try to keep making a good podcast.
Listen, it's okay to talk about vulnerable things in social life, but this is not the time to be vulnerable. This is the time to plug the podcast. Don't let people don't let this be the last thing they hear when they turn off the podcast. That we hope you like this podcast. Bye. You know.
So you want them to hear? Just listen to this podcast. Blah, 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 blah.
Subscribe, comment, share, all the stuff. And buy a rice cooker from Yam Asia. See you next week, people.
Bye.